This is great.
Okay, keep going.
Hey, don't worry. This will be heavily edited. Hopefully.
Just
Just leave it all
At
in.
this point, I don't think we have much of a choice.
Oh my god, I laughed so hard I drooled. I tried to move my mic, it didn't work.
I'm all one-handed right now. I wish I could picture it. I wish I could see
It's the fucking bus.
the chaos that is inside.
The subject to this video is to discuss our favorite genres and favorite game in that genre. I will start first. I mean, I'm into RPGs, RTSs, and all this other stuff, but in all of it, strategies have always been my go-to. I love building armies and building bases and all the other stuff. And my favorite out of all those games I've played would probably be Company Heroes. All-time favorite game. Everything about it. The explosions, it's so realistic. It's not fireworks everywhere, balls of fire everywhere. It's grounded in reality. So that's my my favorite game.
Company here. Is that World War II time
Yes.
frame? Okay.
And
I
it's
think you and I have talked about that before.
yeah, I've actually probably tried to talk you into buying it.
You probably
Tried to
have.
talk
Yeah.
everybody into buying.
Because I have no idea what it is.
Oh, it's awesome! It's awesome.
Oh, here you go, Meg.
Started something.
It's one of those kind of games where like your people, like your company, you'll send them down a road and they'll start getting fired upon, and they just jump behind cover on their own, trying to not die. Or you can put them in a building. There was one time I stuck an MG nest and a sniper, and I'm just mowing down people, and the AI that I was playing against figured out to have while I was being distracted, had a company come around and threw a grenade into the window and blew up my MG nest, and then called an artillery strike and just bombarded my area. It's just so awesome. There's so much cool things that happen.
This sounds like something that I'm going to be awful at.
I'm not the best, but when you roll up with a tank and you don't know if your guy sends an RPG into a tank, if it's just going to ricochet, or if it's going to take out the treads, or if it's going to take out the main gun, or take out the whole thing. It's so, like I say, it's so grounded. It just feels so real, but you're seeing everything from a bird's eye view, and it's just, I love that. I love that game. I think it's probably the best strategy game I've ever played. It just such a good package. And the first one's probably the best. The second one you have a lot more, but they have a bunch of BS DLCs and stuff that kind of irks a lot of people that I've talked to. But it's still a good game. It's still that's my favorite. I'm done. Kaylee, it's your turn.
It's really hard for me just because I always play FPS. I really don't find or stick with a game that I enjoy as much as something like CSGO or CSS. And I don't know if it's because with CSS, that's the game that I started realizing that I wanted to game with. Just after watching you and being able to just see you interact with people, and then the server that we were on, which was Titties and Beer, and I probably shouldn't have been on it at that age.
Probably not.
But it was fun. Because I was 9 when I started playing CSS.
I was an admin, or no, I was under an admin or whatever.
Yeah, and I played underneath your account, pretended to be a boy for a little bit because I was too scared to be a girl playing video games. It was a mess. But I don't know, I think that's just something that I'll always tend to. I really do like survival games. I find it a lot of fun, but the only problem is if you're playing alone, it gets real old pretty fast. So, I don't know, that's pretty much it. I just go in between basically Minecraft and CSGO at this point in time, but probably eventually it'll change. Hopefully
So
7 days will take off.
What drives you to play Counter-Strike so much? Is it the kind of hardcore but yet arcadey feel of the game, that it's hard but it's arcadey at the same time?
In a way, yeah, but it's more CS:GO like alone just surprises me every day. Just because like you play with people who are at all different links. Like yes, they have like this category of like, okay, you're silver 2, you're gonna play with mostly silver 2s or people around that rank. But sometimes like the way that these people can get around someone or like these headshots that they pull off, it just amazes me because like I want to be considered even good at this game because I'm complete trash, but the fact that like there are people out there that can land these shots that I could never even dream of doing, it just keeps me interested in it.
See, I tried playing CSGO and I didn't like it. I really didn't.
I feel like it's simply because like I know there's better like games out there, but it's something that I always fall back onto, and I do pinpoint it too, like because it was one of the first games that I ever started on.
One of the reasons why it was actually DJ that kept trying to get me to play that game, and the base game of it never interested me. But
Yeah.
it was the zombie mod that interested me. The barricading yourself into a room and trying to like figure out if you shoot these corners just right with these certain kind of guns, you can kind of you can manipulate all the like for instance, if you get two couches, you push them together where they face each other and put a Coke machine face with its back facing down into it, they cannot get in, and you know it's like that interests me so much. Or if you get bored with that, you play Escape and you're being chased by all these infected players.
Yeah. And that's why I miss like
and that's how I got
CSS.
you into it.
Yeah, and because like there were so many different game mods that you could do. Like whenever I finally started on my own account and like was myself, I wasn't St. Winter's little sister. I was like my own self, I had my own name, my own account. I played mini games, became an admin over, I think it was like 4 or 5 different servers at this point. Then ended up moving to another server that was extremely huge, to the point where they had admins that were dedicated just to one server. So like I was an admin on their jailbreak server, which does get boring, but with the right people, like it is so much fun. And I know that like I would play for hours. Like you hear about those people that like don't get up and eat or don't get up and go to the bathroom. I was that kid. I had to get help. And I think that that's why I had so much fun with it.
Yeah.
CSGO is definitely different.
Yeah,
I know
it
a lot
really
of
is.
people.
CSS,
It's a completely different game.
CSS, like there was times where I got bored doing everything, and so I just happened to jump into a random server, and they were playing dodgeball with grenades, and that was the most fun I've had. And like just random. I was terrible at surfing. I was terrible at jailbreak or whatever. But like all these random, just odd things that would pop up, and I think that's what I love about that game. And it seemed like Chivalry was kind of doing something like that. And I was a huge Chivalry fan. I played that game forever. Which kind of seems like CSS, but
I don't think I've heard of Chivalry.
It's
I've heard of it, I never played it.
Have you seen the new the Mordhau game that's been advertising everywhere?
I haven't clicked on it, but I've seen it. Yeah.
They were inspired by Chivalry. It's essentially the same thing, but it's so basically there's just 2 teams of medieval soldiers, and like if you're being a swordsman, you would all the buttons on your mouse you can use to make different moves with your sword. It was genius, I thought. You didn't have to worry about turning your mouse a certain way, like For Honor or even Mordhau. I think Mordhau's like actually that way. The way Chivalry did, I thought was amazing. I didn't have to worry about tilting my mouse a certain way or whatever. You just hit certain buttons to do certain moves. If they're blocking one way, actually it was like if they blocked, it was like they blocked, like you just had to aim, so you didn't have to block directions. But if they're aiming one way and then they go for a strike or whatever, you can strike the opposite way. I thought it was brilliant. And the way they handled their servers was a lot like how CS did it. So you can jump in servers that were modded or jump into normal servers, and I love that game.
I mean, the only other games that I really played like was Portal or like Left 4 Dead or
Left 4 Dead.
Gary's mod. I played that for a long time. Just their roleplay server.
Gary's mod. I just fucked around with it.
See, but they had this like roleplay server where like you could build a base up, kind of like you would in like Zombie Mod or CS, like in CS:GO or CSS.
Yeah.
Like you would have like where you could build this humongous like factory where you like try and rob people, or you could be a hobo and throw poop at each other. Like it was a weird time in my life, but it was so much fun because there was so many different like personalities and people who want to do different things. And I had like 5 friends who played the same game. And so like we would all just team up and like make the biggest base possible and then go raid people and try and kill the hobos who throw shit at us. So, you know,
The game was.
It was
Did you ever
just-
play the Synergy mod for Half-Life 2?
no, I didn't.
It
No.
was a blast. It was like each map. It was very arcadey. Each map was just something you jump
So like I
into.
beat like Half-Life
and-
2 and then I never touched the game again. And I don't
There's
have a
so many
reason.
great mods. So many great mods for Half-Life 2. Synergy mod was the best. You had all these crazy different types of guns and weapons and stuff, and trying to survive. Like there was this one zombie map that was amazing.
See, but I have a problem. Like, if I beat a game, I never go back to it, and I don't know why. Like, same with, like with Portal. They have a lot of different modes that you can do as well, like co-op modes and stuff. But
Yeah.
after I beat the game, I never touched it again, and I don't know why
I
I'm
do
like
that.
this.
Yeah.
I can't count how many times I've played Kingdom Hearts and I've beat it total, I think. But I never have that problem. I'm the same way with like movies and stuff. So a
So,
lot of people
with
don't
that
go
said-
back
Yeah, I
and
can't
watch
watch
and play, and I
I'm that gamer who has played Skyrim countless times and have yet to beat it or even come close to coming in
Me
towards the middle.
too.
I get to the point where I'm like, hey, it'd be really awesome if I can mod it and have this and that, and then before I know it, I have like 30 something mods, and then eventually I break the game and my saves don't work anymore and I have to start all over from scratch, and I'm like, well, screw this, I'm not doing all those same side quests over again. But I don't think, hey, I could just do the main part of the game.
I mean, I've done the
Same
main,
thing with
but I
Oblivion.
haven't completed all of the side stuff, and I haven't completed like the different sorts of like side, not like the simple ones, like some guy comes running up, gives you a letter, and you go do that. Like
Yeah.
the bigger sidelines, like for the like the Champions Guild and like going through the Thieving Guild and whatever. I haven't finished all those, but I've finished the main line, like the main storyline twice. But I think I don't
Literally,
know anybody that's ever completed Skyrim.
The first time I played the game, I didn't even come close to even starting the main mission. I almost finished the whole game just by side quests alone. I don't know why I did that. I just get distracted and I start going this way and this way. And before I know, I was like, oh yeah, there was something I was supposed to be doing over here. And I just never finished it.
Skyrim's one of those.
I remember like
games
years ago, a friend of mine was telling me like, "Oh, did you get the dragon? Did you get to beat the talking dragon? What dragon? I killed a bunch of dragons."
I'm like an hour into Skyrim, and then I'll be like, oh crap, what was I doing? And I'll start over, and I'll get about an hour in, and that's about as much as I've played, but I've played it multiple times.
I don't know. I keep thinking about getting to ESO, even though I do not do MMOs, just because apparently like it has a lot of that same like side quest type stuff, and but it's like, you know, Skyrim plus a bunch of other Skyrims. Like, I mean, obviously it has like Morrowind and all that. So, but there's like all these huge regions that are as big as Skyrim, I guess. And I don't know. I keep thinking about it. It's just the combat and the MMO aspect I don't care about, but I don't know.
Skyrim's a good game, though. I think we all agree on that one.
Yeah.
I think it's a good game anyway.
It is a good game.
I need to finally finish, or actually really start playing The Witcher 3. I played the intro part and it was amazing, but I have kids. I haven't even finished the Metro series. I replayed that, the Redux part.
I want
Sounds like an excuse to me.
Oh yeah, Kaylee, it's or Megs, it's your turn.
Oh yeah, my list is not anything that's really like I don't really have a genre that I prefer. I just play whatever I like at the given time. But my main ones that I play are probably Sims 4 and World of Warcraft, and then the occasional torturing myself with 7 Days.
Yeah.
Yeah, scrapping sniper rifles and shit like that.
I did not.
Dogs scare
mean
the
to.
shit out of me. Those dogs, I swear to God.
Oh my god, you should have heard me the other day. I love it. It scares the crap out of me, and I'm sorry for anything that I say with it. But no, I don't know. I like the Tomb Raider series a lot as far as those games, things like that. But I don't ever really go back and play those much. And And then Jeremy and I played the Hunter for a while. That was pretty fun.
Oh yeah. The Hunt or the Hunter?
The Hunter.
I don't,
It's
I
on
guess,
Steam.
I guess I don't know what that one is. I know what the Hunt
And
is.
it's got a ton of DLCs, and you can actually get them for a decent price when they go on sale. Like, they're all on sale right now.
Hunter.
But there's like different maps and stuff you can get, and the different maps have different things that you can hunt, and they've got trophy lodges and stuff now, and it's really cool. But it's fun. I used to play Deer Hunter 5 a long time ago, like Windows 95 a long time ago. And I hadn't found a hunting game that I liked anywhere close to it until this one. So it's fun, but
Oh, it's an actual Hunter game.
yeah,
I'd be bored.
it's awesome.
You'd have to add zombies or something.
Yeah, no, it's just like a straight, like, you go out and hunt stuff kind of game.
Oh.
We've
That's
been
good.
playing Pokemon Revolution Online a lot recently because it's actually like multiplayer. Like, when you're doing things, you're not the only trainer out in the world. Like, that's
So,
pretty fun.
are you excited about the new Tim game coming out?
I don't even know what that is.
I don't even know what it is. Apparently.
What? It's been everywhere. On the internet anyway. It's basically Humble Bundle's version of Pokemon Go, and they're called Tims, and it's sort of like an MMO, but with Pokemon-like stuff.
Oh,
Gotcha.
So
okay.
you would probably be, it's going. I think it's gonna be in the Epic Store, and it's a buy to get in, so it's not free to play. I think it's gonna be $30 bucks. I don't know how I know so much about it, and I have zero interest in this at
I
all.
probably won't play it, to be honest. I'm looking at my wish list though, and
I'm still building my team for Pokemon Sword right now on the Switch.
I didn't even buy the new one, to be honest. Like, after Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I just kind of checked out on all of those. So I haven't really done that.
Yeah.
But
I skipped
if
some
we're talking-
games, but
If we're talking about handheld games and stuff like that, I absolutely want Spyro for the Switch. Like, that's my next console game I'm buying. Because I was obsessed with that game growing up.
Yeah, so it looks like that Temtem game is going to be on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh,
A
really?
little weird considering that Pokemon is on the Switch. I don't
Fair.
imagine a lot of people are probably going to buy it.
Every time I'm on like YouTube and stuff, I just see like people I subscribe to talking about Tim.
Company Heroes is only $4.
It's so
Yeah.
good. You at this point though, you might as well get the second one. There's just so much more features in it, and like you have the commanders you have to buy as DLC, and it's kind of stupid expensive some of the times, but overall it's a good game. And yeah,
See, y'all
it's
play
just-
all these, like, serious games. I play all these dumb games. Like, I bought Cat Quest, and I am not kidding. Like, it's the most adorable and fun thing that I've ever played. Like, y'all think I'm kidding. I legit bought it when it was on sale, and I'm, like, super excited for Cook Serve Delicious to come out for the new one because it looks so, like, anxiety, like, creating, and I don't know why I love dumb games like this. but I do.
Did you what is it called? Cat, what is it? Man. Cat Lady Simulator or something like that? There's some Have you heard of that?
Cat Lady
No.
Simulator?
Yeah.
But there is an achievement in World of Warcraft that if you collect so many different cat pets, you get a crazy cat lady title, and I am like 3 cats away from it.
So if it's the right game I'm
Again,
thinking
I like
about,
dumb things.
the Cat Lady Simulator, you actually attack people with cats. Like you
Throw
throw the
cats at
cats at them, and they like you get like specialized cats that like blow up and stuff.
So it's Angry Birds but cats.
Yeah, but you run around like playing like old school Zelda or like Pokemon or whatever. Like you're running around with all these cats behind you.
Oh,
So you're all crazy cat ladies fighting each other.
I don't always play.
I'll have to look this up. I think it's.
I played
Because
genital
I'm-
jousting for way too long.
I need to get that game, but it'd be weird playing that with my sister.
Yeah.
Y'all should seriously look up Cat Quest though. Somebody showed it to me and I was like, I need this in my life, and I bought it and I'm not disappointed by it. I'm lame.
Everyone wants these serious games.
I know.
I
I'm
don't.
lame.
It's not the game I'm thinking about. I don't remember what it was called.
Well, what I pictured was the game Kitten Cannon. That's what I pictured in my head.
Crazy Cat Lady Simulator 2019.
No, it's not that one.
The last of my little 2 cents on the gaming thing though is the other thing that we started playing recently. Jeremy got me to play Divinity, and it's pretty fun.
Oh yeah, the
We're not
second
very
one.
far into it.
Divinity
I think the
Original
first one.
Sins 2?
Yeah, the first one. We're playing the first one right now.
I keep getting told
We
to play
have
that
both,
one.
yeah, but we're playing the first one.
Jared was pretty adamant about me getting it, but instead I ended up getting Pathfinder's Kingmaker, and I love it, but I have a hard time playing it because kids are climbing all over me, and then I get my three-legged asshole cat
Divinity's pretty fun,
chewing on my nose.
but we haven't gotten too terribly far into it because I'm really bad at coming back to stuff that I start.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I want a good RPG, but I have already so many.
Yeah,
that
I just have
Ray's
too
so
many that
bad
I
about
switch
starting.
around.
Huh?
I said you're just bad about starting things.
I know. Or finishing things. You know how many unfinished paintings I have?
Do you know how many books this man has sent me that aren't finished?
So, with that said, I guess Joker.
Oh, my next?
Yep.
You next.
Well,
I mean, I'm pretty. I think
I
I
used
think I've already
to-
called your game, but go ahead.
I used to play shooters extensively. Like, that's all I had. Because, when I grew up, I had a Game Boy and then I had a PlayStation. I grew up with Sony. So, like, the first shooter I ever really got interested in playing was Siphon Filter. I don't know if you guys remember
Oh,
that.
right. I used to electrocute people like crazy,
So
just
I
catch them
have
on
it-
fire. Just
Yeah. So I have it now because I bought a PS2 a long time ago at the pawn shop and it worked. So I was like, $20, that's mine.
Heck
And I got a
yeah.
bunch of games. I can't play it now, dude. Like the graphics are just so bad, and like the
They're so
movement
good
is
back
so
when we were
bad.
kids, though.
Yeah,
That's
back then,
crazy.
yeah, because I was all excited. I booted it up there, and I played it for about an hour, and I just could not get through it. I couldn't get past the controls because the controls are different then too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your standard controls now for shooters. Where like these are these things, everything's
Right.
different. But I played a lot of shooters, mostly like Call of Duty, Battlefield when it first came out. But the only shooter I've been playing lately is Apex. Apex Legends, and I enjoy that game a lot. It's the only battle royale game I've played and actually put time into. But I still think my favorite genre is like survival or RPG games and MMOs. RuneScape's gonna have to be the top for me.
I was
'cause that
waiting
game-
for RuneScape.
Either
That
that or
game is
7
for
days.
it.
That's
I mean, fuck, I'm playing it right now. Like, so
We
like,
knew.
it's just that's my childhood game. Like that game came out in like 2001 or like 99, I think when it came out. But I didn't start playing until I would have been in 6th grade. So math. That was 2006, I think, is when I started playing it, and I've just played it since. It's just that's my game. That's my childhood game. That's my go-to game if I don't know what to do, if I don't have a lot of time. But
That's crazy.
probably my all-time favorite game.
I graduated high school in 2004. God, I'm old.
Wow, you're old.
We are old. It's fine.
Speaking of childhood stuff, like in PS days, like the two games that were my childhood favorite games was Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I talk about it all the time because I absolutely love that game. And Silent Hill. I love that franchise.
I
2,
love
3,
the
and
Silent
4
Hill games,
were-
but
or
they're
no, sorry,
terrifying.
1, 2, and 4 were amazing. I never played 3, and I chose not to play the rest of them. I just loved them so much. And I don't play games like I don't play gory. I don't like gory stuff. I don't have an issue with it. It's not. I just don't really care for it. But Silent Hill it wasn't just one of those other games where it was, hey, we're gonna pop something up in your face and try to scare you. Like it was more about the atmosphere. And there's so much there's still, if you go through YouTube, there's so many videos of theories of what this meant, what that meant, and it was just such a brilliant game that all kind of came together. And so that's, speaking of childhood stuff, those are my childhood all-time
Silent Hill
favorite games.
and Outlast was mine. I don't know if you remember playing that, right? But
Yeah,
we-
I remember you being in the room and freaking out.
yeah, me and Bubba were sitting in the room and we were playing, I think, Outlast at this point because we already finished Silent Hill. But we already finished that, and basically we were sitting there and Dad woke up at 3 o'clock in the middle of the morning because me and Ray were yelling so loud because we were getting jump scares from these games.
Was it the giant dude with no nose?
No, it was the two naked twins that came up to the
Oh
fence.
yeah.
What
I
was
forgot
that
about
old
that.
PS2 game where you had to take pictures of things?
Oh my!
Do you know what I'm talking about? It was like a jump scare thing. What?
Yeah.
Fatal Frame. There we go.
Fatal Frame, yeah. I almost
Yeah.
said
It
Shooter.
was such a good game.
I
But-
couldn't get into
terrified me.
it. I could not get into it.
I couldn't stop playing
all.
it, and it scared me so much.
I couldn't stop playing it, but the only thing I hated about that game was like I always would get to a point where I was just lost. I could not figure out what I was supposed to do next. I couldn't figure out the clues. It was just I got to that point where like sometimes in Zelda games you got that way too where you would supposed to be doing this quest, you went over to that area but you couldn't find it and then there was nobody else to give you another hint, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you just get stuck.
Yeah, and that's the only thing that I didn't like about that game because I was almost finished with this game and got stuck and I literally couldn't even figure it out. Like I Googled it and everybody was just like, you just do this. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to do with that because I don't know where that is. But no, that was such a good game. I played that game for hours.
I have so many
games
good
that.
like scary games right now that I just had not have time to play. Was it?
You guys tried to get me to play The Forest, and I couldn't bring myself to do it.
I couldn't get into it. I mean, it was good, and it should be everything I would like, but I don't know. I think at the time I'm not big into survival games anymore, so maybe that's it.
I will say that game was a lot of fun. It was crazy, some of the things, but at that time, my old computer didn't work very well, and so when you would go down to these caves, which that's the part that I kind of hate about this game, is you have to go down into the caves for honestly more than half of the game
Oh, right.
to get the clues. And like that's how you even get to like when you finish it, the bunker that you have to get to. And I would glitch through and I could see everything around me. It's like Minecraft when the chunks don't load. That's what was happening to me in the forest. So Josh and I beat it together, but he did it all by himself because I couldn't go down into the cave. So like I would just build the houses like within the tree lines and like put the heads on the stakes and shit like that. Well, not that, but
The two like scary games I have installed on my computer right now that I have not found any time to play is Layers of Fear and Soma, and I keep getting told to play those games. I just had no time to play them.
Yeah, I don't do scary games. I don't know. 7 Days is about as scary as I get.
7 Days has frightened me more than most of the scary games I've played.
it's the dogs. The dogs just
Even
freak.
Minecraft has some
Yeah,
moments. like, remember
Minecraft
those
got me too.
caves?
Yeah.
And
This last, not the one that we just created the other day, but this last time that we played where we had that just kind of square base where the garden was just kind of like not very far off. I don't remember what happened. I think it was Horde Night and I fell off the roof and everything was on the other side of the building. So I just like left Joker and just ran to the garden and was like, bye. And he's like, where are you going? I was like, I don't know. I'm finding somewhere safe to log out because I can't handle this.
I remember that actually.
I have a story to tell. Speaking of Minecraft. I think I walked into Kaylee's room or something and she was playing Minecraft and she's like at the computer. And
She goes, no.
Not this one, please. That was
she's at the computer and
scary.
she's going pss, 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 or whatever or whatever the noise was. And I'm like, what are you doing? She starts busting out laughing. She goes, I was talking to the spider.
I was young.
It was like stuck or something, and she was like looking outside or something, and she was like trying to talk to.
It was right outside my window, and it was just chilling. We were just staring at each other, and you decided to walk in. My friend thought it was funny, so.
Oh my god.
And that's one of the better stories that I've done.
So I guess with that said, Ian.
Yes. It's all I used to do back whenever I was like still a teenager and stuff like that. And it's like in recent years, I haven't really played like a ton of video games anymore. It's because I don't really have time. But like in the ilk of scary games, a game that really scared me, which might sound silly, like, but it like scared the crap out of me whenever I was a kid, was Resident Evil 2.
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I got the PlayStation like right when it came out, and I didn't. My friend was a huge gamer, and I was just like kind of following And so it says it's like, hey, go get Resident Evil 2. Let's play Resident Evil 2. And my house at the time, you know, I always had friends there, even whenever I wasn't there. It's just filled up with people. So my house was never empty. And he was just like, oh, if you're going to get, you know, the PlayStation, you get Resident Evil 2. So I went out and I bought it. I come home and I was like looking forward to just sort of playing it with him and everybody. And I come home, and for the first time in my life, there's not a soul in my house. Like my parents weren't there. They weren't there. And I'm walking around. I'm like, hello? Hello, and there's nobody there. I was like, crap, man. And I was like, well, I was like, I can just wait. And I was like, but I didn't know what Resident Evil 2 was, literally, because I'd never even heard of it. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna play it. But I was like, well, there's nobody here, so I'm shutting off all these lights so that I can get it, so that I can not waste electricity. I lock the door, the front door. I go back to my room, which is all the way in the back. I load this up. And the minute it loads it, and that, you know, splash screen comes up with Resident Evil 2 and everything, I was like, oh, this is a scary game. And I'm a big wuss whenever it comes to scary games. So I start playing this thing, but it grips me, right? So, because I really love zombies. I have ever since I was a little kid. So I started getting into this, and I'm just like, I'm just sort of, you know, checked out of everything that's going around me. So at some point, one of my friends comes to the door, and at the front door, and is knocking on the door, and I can't hear him or anything like that. He just keeps knocking, and he's like, where is he? Trying to come in, and he's like, oh, well, I know where his room is. I'm going to go over to his room on the outside and then go to his window. So I'm sitting there playing this game, and I get to the point, now I don't know if y'all remember this, Resident Evil 2, the part of the hallway where there's a part where you always have this background music, but you start walking down this hallway, and you know how Resident Evil 2 did that forced perspective thing? So you couldn't look around corners, you couldn't do anything like that. So I'm walking down the hallway, and it cuts off the music, and all you can hear is your own footsteps. and so I'm slowly walking down this hallway towards the end of it. And right as I'm getting to the end of this hallway, the friend comes up to the window, you know, and he sees me standing there playing, and he's looking through the window with his big round dumb face. Yeah, and he sees me there. He's like, oh, there he is. And I get right to the end of the hall, and the boarded up window, the zombie arms just go boom and bust through, and it goes wham, and it hits that musical sting, and they grab you. They grab me, and I go, ah! And I jump like that, and I jumped real hard, and right at that moment, he goes, boom, 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 and knocks on the window, and I whirl around, I see his face just lit at the window there. I don't know who I'm looking at first. I just scream, like as loud as I can. I feel like I was gonna piss my pants, and I was so embarrassed and angry. I was just yelling at him through the window. I was like, what are you doing? Like, get out of here.
I never got to play 2. I've only played 5 and 6, and they kind of scared me a little bit.
Oh, 2 was amazing.
Has anybody played Until Dawn?
No, but I hear it's amazing.
I have not.
Don't they do like a psych thing test?
Yeah. I really love story-driven games. It's a good game. It's like I loved The Last of Us for that reason, because I felt like it was a great mix of agency plus story. But
so
Until
good.
Dawn, yeah, you're right. It has a thing where basically they put you in a scenario where you're talking to a therapist, quote unquote therapist, and he has conversations with you, and you answer questions, and it tailors the game to try to prey on your fears based on your answers to try to make the game scarier for you. I think it's better to not put too much thought into the answers, because I did, and they ended up like putting a lot of clowns in the game, and I was like, I'm really not scared of clowns at all, but I was just like, there was a lot of clowns in the game. I was just like, okay, so I think that was probably due to some of those answers I gave. But.
And it had that actor that he's a really good actor, the Peter. It's my favorite role. He played Satan in Constantine. Yes, he did.
And it's my favorite rendition of Satan, in media.
Oh, it's so amazing. Really I love that movie. Did you know that I never played it, but the Silent Hill game that came on, I think it was the PSP, they did a psych evaluation of you, but they didn't do it at the beginning of the game. They did it as you played, and as you play, like if you looked at I think it's like, I'm guessing at this point because I don't really remember, but if you avoid the obstacles, like there's, I think it was like a pool that you had to run down, but if you kept avoiding the pool and you went the long way around, like they would start to change, and like they would have like holes, all in the monsters that would be chasing you. So like if you're afraid of holes or of whatever, and like if you looked at posters that had like sexual whatever in the posters, like eventually the monsters start to change to be more like those sexy nurses or whatever. And so it was like slowly changing to fit like what you may have something wrong with
your
you.
behaviors.
Yeah. And that's crazy.
It's like, are you a pervert? I'm gonna ruin this for you.
It's a terrible game, but it did some pretty crazy stuff like that. Like the game slowly, and it did it such a subtle way, and then finally you start realizing like, holy shit, like all this stuff is, you know, either more terrifying or more personal, and
This
you didn't
just
even
doesn't
realize until after
sound
a while.
fun.
No, it wasn't. It was not fun. It was not a fun game. It was literally running from corridor to corridor to corridor, trying to avoid monsters. That's literally the game.
Sounds really stressful.
Like,
Yeah,
this
it
sounds
was-
like an awful nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. That Until Dawn game, you make choices that can't be undone in it, and I would cheat that game a lot. I would be really on edge, and then something would happen, and the game actually auto saves when something is happening based on a choice that you make, like a quit time event or a split decision that you make.
Yeah.
And then I immediately can see something bad happening, and then I would just back out of the game and just turn it off, and then just go back into it, and it would reload it from the previous thing,
Ian's over here
and I
like,
would play it
no,
again.
he slams the power button.
So I ruined the whole experience of it, but yeah, no one could
Well,
ever
you
get
made
hold of
it
me.
harder than Alfred did.
Oh, speaking of which, he gave me an update. He's currently getting drunk with his theater people.
That's
At
Glad
Applebee's.
we're second
I'm
best.
sure.
And so he took them all out to Applebee's, and I guess they're still there. So
Jesus.
God.
bless you.
I tried covering the mic. I didn't know if you're gonna.
Gesundheit?
What did you try to cover it with? Like a napkin?
Yeah, I used both.
A tiny Kleenex.
I put a pillow over my head, but it didn't work apparently.
Jesus.
Was the
If that
pillow
was-
your phone?
If that was muffled, holy heck.
I think it probably came through because I didn't take it off of my neck.
Yeah, did you just put a ginormous hole in your pillow? Like, does it just look like you got nailed with like a 20 gauge?
I dangled it out the window to try to keep it away from my head. Sound travel. All in here, I guess.
Yeah. So
Not my
I-
job.
so
Can you leave in the sneeze though, if you don't mind? Just from me,
of
whenever.
course. So we're the Content Collective. We show appreciation to things that are creative, things that are geared towards being creative, and as my wife's over here crocheting, and you know, for me, it's art and writing and video games, and we'll talk about games, we'll talk about movies, we'll talk about shows, books, mostly geared towards games, but we'll be here talking about all kinds of things, and we have a bunch of stuff planned for the future. The end.
Lame.
Come on,
I
Kaylee.
think there's way too many things that we can include in all of that. Like, we do all the things.
We,
do all the things.
everything.
That's the ending. We
Whatever
do all
you
the
desire,
things.
we got you. We just
Yeah.
all over the place. That's it for us.
We don't know what we are. Just enjoy it.
Just like us, please. That's all we care about.
We just
Love
want to
me.
be friends.
You do what we
If you like
say.
what you see, come back. If you don't, well, just,
You're
know you
missing
wasted
out.
your time.